Last night we saw another edition of Monday Night Raw from the WWE Performance Center with a crowd of WWE Performance Center recruits, some finally wearing masks. This is after last week's disastrous news from WWE about their COVID-19 testing, precautions, and many positive cases and positive tests revealed by WWE employees, talent, production staff, you name it. A lot of people have tested positive for it in WWE over the last 7 days. So I was stunned quite frankly, to see that the 71-year-old WWE Hall of Famer, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, was once again on Monday Night Raw last night. I honestly, when his music hit, I was stunned. Now, Ric Flair has been on the last two episodes of Monday Night Raw. He's been involved in this Randy Orton, Christian, Edge, and now the Big Show storyline. He's kind of a manager for the Big Show once again. Kind of a manager once again for Randy Orton now. And he's sort of been the sort of mouthpiece for him slightly recently. He obviously assisted Randy Orton in defeating Christian a couple of weeks ago, gave Christian the low blow. After then, Randy Orton gave him the punch to the head. Randy Orton started calling himself the Legend Killer again, and Ric Flair's been involved, calling Randy Orton the greatest wrestler of all time, and that kind of stuff. Now, I must say that I don't have a problem with Ric Flair being involved in this storyline if it was any other scenario or situation right now. But given the situation that we're in right now with the global pandemic, obviously over here in the UK, it's not as bad as it is currently in the US. The US hasn't even stopped the curb, basically. Given the amount of issues that there are currently in Florida, where WWE is taping all of their shows at the moment at the Performance Center, you know, it's so bad in Florida now that the government have mandated that to go outside unless you're doing exercise, you have to wear a mask. And it was reported last week that inside the WWE Performance Center, there have been over 30 positive tests for COVID-19. SmackDown last week, the taping for SmackDown was chaotic, and we basically saw an hour's worth of tribute to The Undertaker and the full Boneyard match replay because they didn't have enough stars to fill out the show. Monday Night Raw, we saw stars missing from last night's episode. That doesn't mean necessarily that they've tested positive for COVID-19, but it could be that they're staying home for precautionary reasons or other reasons involved. There is chaos in WWE right now. There is chaos in WWE when it comes to COVID-19, and that's because of WWE's lack of testing prior to this. You got to remember, WWE only started testing their superstars and employees 2 weeks ago. Prior to that, they were only doing temperature checks, and even sometimes if employees were higher than the threshold for the temperature checks, they were let in the Performance Center anyway. They were filling out medical questionnaires, and in some cases, they were just being asked, "How do you feel today?" And this is why the likes of Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens have stayed home ever since this pandemic hit, because they've realised that this isn't safe and this isn't worth the risk, not only to their house, but to the health of their family, their loved ones, and their close ones. So I was stunned to see Ric Flair appear last night on Monday Night Raw, due to his high-risk category that he is. Ric Flair not only is 71 years old, once you are in your late 60s and 70s, you already become high risk for COVID-19 and complications, I must say, from COVID-19. So Ric Flair is only in there. But that issue is doubled, tripled, or even more in some cases when you have underlying health conditions, which Ric Flair has. Over the last 5 years, Ric Flair has had numerous health issues, and unfortunately has nearly passed away on a couple of occasions. He's been that sick. Ric Flair, you can just search it up on the internet, has a heart condition called alcoholic cardiomyopathy. On August 14th, 2017, Ric Flair had surgery in Georgia. This led to him being in a coma for a couple of weeks. He had kidney failure, necessitating dialysis treatment and ongoing hospitalization. He was in hospital for nearly 2 months. Yeah, and he had issues ongoing after that, and after that, and after that. And now he's in a very, very, very critical high-risk category. And yet he is in an enclosed space with at least 30 or 40 people in there, regardless if they're wearing masks, that could be possible carriers, asymptomatic carriers of COVID-19. He is in a building where over 30 people have tested positive for COVID-19. It is obvious that COVID-19 is going on in that performance center and being passed around in that performance center. Okay, we've had tests where people have tested negative 3 days prior, they get another test 3 days later, and they're positive. WWE really can't control the spread of this virus in there very well. And that's not WWE's fault completely. You've got to remember that there is such a diverse group of talent that works for WWE and is going to the WWE Performance Center. They don't all live in Florida. They're flying from all over the country. And Orlando Airport was also seen to be a hotbed for COVID-19 spread. So Ric Flair, who lives in Georgia as well, he's having to travel in. So he's having to go in through Orlando Airport, or even have some form of interaction with the airport or people that have flown in from the airport. Ric Flair is not safe, and he should not be anywhere near that performance center and on WWE Raw or any WWE programming right now. It's completely irresponsible by WWE to have someone in that high-risk category anywhere near the WWE Performance Center. What if Ric Flair catches the virus and gets very, very sick, or even worse, heaven forbid, something really, really bad happens? WWE would have serious issues on their hand. Not even that. The fact that Ric Flair could possibly get sick and die because of this. That's the issue right there. And not only that, his family and his loved ones could also get sick and even worse because of it also. It's just not worth the risk. Now, when I mentioned this on social media last night, I said Ric Flair, a 71-year-old Ric Flair with underlying health issues, should be nowhere near the WWE Performance Center during a pandemic or during a time in which over 30 people and more every single day are testing positive for COVID-19. A lot of people got back to me, and to be honest, some of these responses absolutely terrified me. And some people that think this is completely fine. The response I got a lot from people was, oh, well, he's a grown man, he can make his own decisions. It shouldn't be for him to make his own decisions, okay? WWE should take the initiative and have Ric Flair's best health and interests in heart and say, look, Ric, it's not safe for you. It's not completely safe for you to be here right now. You should stay at home. Ric Flair isn't a necessity to WWE programming anymore, okay? This isn't the 1980s, this isn't the 1990s, this isn't 2000s, okay? Ric Flair being on WWE Raw is not a must. It's not going to, the needle isn't going to go up and down massively because Ric Flair is or isn't on the show. That's just what it is. Okay, that's just what it is. He shouldn't be anywhere near the show. Now, I've said some people have said, well, he's a 71-year-old man. He can do what he wants. Again, this isn't the point. This isn't the point. And people looking at that are just ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's a ridiculous stance to take. Oh, he's 71. He can make his own decisions. Blah blah blah. Oh, really? Okay, he can make his own decisions. Well, WWE shouldn't allow him to make the decision in that case. They should say you should stay away from here because of your health and safety. Okay, because from WWE's point of view, what happens if Ric Flair gets sick? I'm sure Ric Flair has signed a waiver to say that he wouldn't sue the WWE, or his family wouldn't sue the WWE if he got sick or even worse, but it doesn't matter. Can you imagine, already on top of the negative PR and press that WWE is getting for their shoddy handling of the COVID-19 situation at the WWE Performance Center and in general when it comes to their company, if something happened to someone as famous and as notorious as Ric Flair, can you imagine the negative PR and issues that WWE would get because of that? Again, it shouldn't be. WWE just shouldn't allow it. It should not allow it. And this is just another case of WWE's poor mishandling of this whole COVID-19 situation when it comes to WWE. And I saw someone saying that, oh, you're implying that Ric Flair is being forced to stay at the WWE Performance Center. One, I never said that. I don't think anyone has speculated that Ric Flair is being forced to the WWE Performance Center. I'm sure Ric Flair wants to be there, and I'm sure Ric Flair thinks that, it's not an issue, I'll be completely fine. WWE has had the best precautions and is keeping me safe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the thought that WWE is keeping that performance center safe is not true by the fact that over 30 people are testing positive for COVID-19 there. And because only 2 weeks ago, they weren't even testing for it. They were having phony temperature checks and medical questionnaires and asking people how they were feeling. So WWE isn't having the best medical and testing procedures there. They've started testing people now, which is good, which is why we've got all of these positive tests. But it makes you wonder how many people were in there with COVID-19 prior to this that was asymptomatic and no one was even talking about it or doing anything about it. It proves that someone that's high risk, like a Ric Flair, is not safe at this point in time to be at that WWE Performance Center. It's irresponsible, it's dangerous, and it's possibly, some people could argue that it's negligible by WWE to have someone who is a high risk category because of his age and because of his health conditions in the WWE Performance Center right now. WWE needs to do the right thing, take the proper precautions, and have people like Ric Flair nowhere near the WWE Performance Center right now. If you can have someone like Roman Reigns, who is, regardless of his past health issues, he does have a compromised immune system, but Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens think that it's not safe to be there, it certainly isn't safe to have Ric Flair there. It certainly isn't safe to have Ric Flair anywhere near that performance center right now. I had some people say to me, well, he survived an airplane crash. Back in the, was it 70s or whatever, he survived an airplane crash, he can survive COVID-19. Well, at the time, Ric Flair wasn't 71 years old with a heart condition when he had that airplane crash. Okay, that's one. And two, the airplane crash isn't the same, it isn't as comparable as to a virus, okay? That's like comparing a punch to the face as a stab to the gut. They're different things. Okay, that's just how they're different things. That argument is completely nonsensical. And the amount of people trying to defend WWE's actions in this case, going, oh, Ric Flair can do what he wants. I'm sure Ric Flair wants to be there. I'm sure he does. But I'm also sure that his family doesn't want to see him get sick and possibly even worse. And they should be the ones to say to WWE, this isn't right, we shouldn't have him near there. Ric Flair is, regardless of how stubborn or what he thinks of this virus, if he thinks it's real or not, you still have some people that deny it's even real or a thing. He should be nowhere near that performance center. WWE should take the initiative here and make sure they keep people like Ric Flair safe. It's irresponsible and it's not the right thing to do. But of course, this is just one man's opinion. What is your opinion on having Ric Flair still appear on Monday Night Raw and still appear inside the WWE Performance Center despite there being numerous positive COVID-19 tests? Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be another subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms right now. They're on the screen. That's at 365 Wrestle on Twitter and at WrestleNews365 on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to go to WrestleNews365.com too for all the very latest news, articles, opinions, and so much more. Give us a visit at WrestleNews365.com. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak with you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.